Jay from Team DMA coming at you with another video. This video is going to be another special video regarding the market value. As you already know, I tend to do market values whenever something big happens or when it's time for you to make extra money because there's going to be reprints, or when some of the cards go extra budget, just so a lot of people can take advantage, make a bunch of money, and do what you love. As I always tell people, it was told to me and I put it into practice, and I can tell you it's 100% accurate. It works. And the saying is this: if you're good at something, never do it for free. So, for whoever is listening, if you're wise, if you're smart, if you want to retire young or early, take that to heart. Hopefully, you understand. And if you don't, let me know. I can explain it to you further. But basically, this is another market watch, and I kind of squeeze these in and then save them for later for uploading when I get a chance. But we're going to be talking really quickly about understanding, even though this was on a website, I'm using it here to illustrate the idea so that people can understand and grasp the idea in their mind of what's really going on. So it was off of Beyond the Dial, but we're going to utilize this for Yu-Gi-Oh! So as you can see, they have their basic layout and of their pyramid, but on the side we have the actual Yu-Gi-Oh community, which is at the very top, the collectors, and then in the middle, collectors and the players, and at the very bottom, regular consumers, which is everybody else. So moving on quickly for the video, as you already know, I don't like to do them very long, so quickly starting from the bottom up. Excuse me. The regular consumers are those people that they have their life set. They don't have time for Yu-Gi-Oh. They don't attend Yu-Gi-Oh events because they can't. They're busy with their life. So usually, for the most part, that number is giant. Like I wouldn't know, I wouldn't know how many, but for sure it's a lot. It's a very big number. Like it's probably in the billions for sure. So, and then we have the collector players. That is a small, it's a smaller group. And then those players, they collect, but they also play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like they attend the events, YCS. They have more free time, so they also like to lie a lot about their schedule. Like they will say things like, "I don't have time, but I still attend," and that's a lie. A lot of people wonder, like, why does Jay know so much, or why does he know this? Is because I used to be there. I used to be in that group. So basically, what they do is they make time. So they not all the time, but for the majority, like I was with like 6 or 7 different teams. Like each team had like 7, 8 people, and they all did the same thing. So what was it that the people did? All of the money that you make, you spend it on Yu-Gi-Oh, and or at least a big portion of it. And then also the other one is you miss work, and sometimes you quit your job primarily for playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So in simple terms, like not to go too far, you're addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh. Like you are addicted to smoking or drugs. It's no different. It's the same exact thing. You're addicted. So a lot of people make fun of this by calling it cardboard addiction. Even in my channel, you see a lot of people making fun of me when I tell people I made an extra 1,000. On the comments, it'll say cardboard addiction. But what they don't understand, I don't qualify because I make money for doing nothing. Cardboard addiction is for the people who spend all their money and get nothing out of it. So you're basically trapped in an addiction. If you're making a bunch of money and doing nothing, that is an addiction to being successful financially. So that's not bad. Like for instance, saying being addicted to being successful, just overall, that's not bad. It's bad whenever the addiction is bad for you, for your health, for your life. So yeah, these people tend to be, the majority of them, I wouldn't say all, but the majority of them, they're addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh. There's nothing they can do. They can say all they want, but there's nothing they can do. Absolutely nothing. They're trapped under the addiction of Yu-Gi-Oh. They will go to all the events, attend all the locals, and the majority of them won't take advantage. Like they spend more than what they make, and also their time. So because of that, they usually I don't want to go too far off, but they don't have any businesses, they don't have any real estate, stuff like that. They're just focused more on the game and collecting. And then at the very top, you have the collectors only. The collectors only means they don't qualify as regular consumers, and then they also don't play. They don't play the game, so they are the investors. So to them, spending 100,000 is the same like a regular consumer spending $5 at the 99-cent store. It is absolutely nothing to them. Even spending $1 million to them is nothing. How do I know? Well, there was some years. I don't want to say the exact numbers, but there was some years of the product that I sold and I made. It was more than what I make at a regular job, easily, and you make it a lot faster than when the year ends. Like a little past half the year, you already made what you would made a regular job. So some people quit their job and sometimes they become regular full-time collectors, or they're business owners, homeowners. Basically, they have all the money. They have a lot of money to spend, so they're looking to only buy top-notch items. So now that we broke it up, regular consumers is just the regular people. The middle class is the collectors and the players. So they attend the events, they also collect. And at the very top, collectors only. They don't do anything else. So money-wise, the one at the top, the collector, he has the most money out of them all because he has millions of dollars at their disposal, if not thousands of dollars at their disposal. So let's say they were to throw out tomorrow a $20,000 Dark Magician or a Blue Eyes White Dragon, they'll buy both of them. The collector, he will try to bargain to get one and go more in depth, like with credit cards or whatnot, and they use their money that they do at work and they'll buy probably one. And then the regular consumer, those vary. Some of that portion, they have a lot of money, as much as the collectors. The other portion have as much as the collectors and the players only. And some don't have any money at all, like they're in a super tight budget. So the Konami and everyone that exists in the world that sells product, they're a business. And I've told people hundreds of times, but they don't want to listen. They're not your friends. They're not there to make you feel good. They're not there to make you feel happy. But a lot of the parents don't teach that to people, so they don't know. They have no clue. They're just going off of what they feel, what they think, what their friends told them, what they saw on YouTube. They don't understand the very basics of business. So in business, all they see, they don't see color or nothing, or race or group or nothing. They don't see nothing. All they see is the money they're investing, the profit. So they have their people that work at the CEO table and they make the decisions and all that. And to cut it short so I can end the video, they see this and all they do is which one can provide the most money for the business. Because like Elon Musk said, and it was a wise way to put it, he said a business is like a baby. You can't just let a baby die, you have to feed it. And when he said that, he started crying. It's because it's true. So the people who produce the most money is the larger number, the quantity. So we're going to be going through each one, and then after that I'm going to discuss the product and then explain it real quick, and then that'll be the end of the video. So we're pretty much at the end of the video, so slow it down or go back if you need to, because I'm going to speed it up and end it. So basically at the top we have the, thank you, at the top we have the collectors only. So the collectors only, they hate all the product, all of it. It doesn't matter what it looks like, if it came from heaven, or it doesn't matter. They hate all the product. They only like the product that they like, and they're willing to invest the money into it. So because of that, I wouldn't know the correct percentage, but if Konami releases 100% of product, they probably only like 10% of it. That's the only thing that they like. And then so that's why all the YouTubers, the collectors, they hate all this product. I guess I can kill two birds with one stone, right? might as well cover why they hate it. So yeah, that's the reason why they hate all the product, because they have the money and their their demand is high. It's similar to like the rich going to an extravagant restaurant with caviar and truffles, and someone who doesn't have any money, for example, like most of the homeless. I don't shop at McDonald's, and I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that if you shop there you're homeless. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what I see with my eyes. I used to work close to a McDonald's, and I used to see a lot of the homeless going to McDonald's, and they go there because the food's cheap, but the food also can make you sick. It's not healthy. It's very trashy, and people love McDonald's, and they say you are what you eat. So eventually you're gonna have issues. But you notice that the rich shop somewhere else, and the people who are not rich shop somewhere else. So the homeless tend to go to McDonald's, and people say like, what do I mean by that? I would visually see them come in and just pay with a few cents and buy burgers and fries like that. And why why do I bring that up? Just because the collector only, he's not like that. He's a rare type. The company has to produce something very rare that appeals to the collectors only, and they can sell it for 5,000, 10,000, even 50,000. To them, if it's tomorrow displayed 50,000, to them it's not, should I get it or not? That's not the question, because money is not a problem. Their question is the product good enough so that I can buy it? You see, that's why it's different mentality. So they produce large quantities of money for the business. However, they're a small number, because the rich and the wealthy are a small number. People don't want to believe it. It doesn't matter. It's just the truth. Now moving on to the collector and the player. The collector and the player, a lot of the times, they're the ones that really navigate the company, and I'm gonna explain why really quickly. They're a collector slash player. So collector, they buy, so they produce some of the money. They're also addicted to cardboard, like they say, and some of them not so much, some of them are more. But the bigger key that makes them more sought after by the company, and a lot of the time, the main reason why the company is open is for this group. The reason why is because they also play, they participate. So in participating, the merchandise, like I'll show you an example, like the clothing, the shoes, the hats, gloves, play mats, sleeves, what is it called? The deck boxes, the dice, and the list just goes on forever. Magazines. It doesn't matter as long as it says Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Tattoos, everything, the anime series, everything. They're addicted to it, so they don't let anything fall to the ground, any scraps. Kind of like you throw some pieces of bread on the floor and the birds land, they eat it and then they fly. That's how they are. They don't let anything go to waste. They eat it all up. So they eat the ban list. So they're fully 100% under control of the company. The company can do whatever they want with them. So because of that, their emotions are constantly moved one way or another. Like, oh, stupid ban list. Oh, I wish they got rid of this card. And they're the ones that you hear on YouTube cry about everything. I think out of the three, they're probably the worst crybabies out of them all. And actually, this group, they're the ones that have the most, they're most successful on YouTube. Because they're very emotional, so their transparency makes people like them. But also, their content is more like their life. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is their life. Yu-Gi-Oh is not a hobby. Yu-Gi-Oh is not a way for them to make money. Yu-Gi-Oh is their life. If Yu-Gi-Oh ends, then their life ends. That's how they see it, their perspective. And usually, this group, they call their children like Dark Magician, or if they have a daughter, they'll call them Dark Magician Girl, and people are gonna attack me and say, that's not true, I have a boy and a girl, and I didn't name them that. Yeah, but then you turn around, they might have named the boy Goku, or the daughter, they might have named her like Sakura from Naruto. They always end up putting some sort of anime name on their kids. Not all of them, but some of them do. So yeah, they're definitely addicted to all this. So they produce a large number of money, but then they're also the reason why the company lives, because they eat it all up. The ban list, like I said, and everything, the tournaments and all the merchandise. So the company is alive because of them. So some other times they listen to them. So it is a true fact that they are navigating one way or another how things work. Because without them, then the numbers would go a lot lower. There's no events. There's just so much that the company loses a big percentage. And then at the yeah, so those channels, what they do, before I move to the next one, they hate a lot of the product because they don't have the money that the collectors do. Like if tomorrow there's $50,000 in one card, they can't afford that. The number is very little. But some of them can, and some of them bought it because Yu-Gi-Oh's their life. Like I used to be before. You bought the product when it was cheaper, but right now some of the cards are 20,000, 30,000. So they have them because they were there 10, 15 years ago. Um, so yeah, these guys, when they have their channel, they hate a lot of the product as well because it doesn't appeal to them. They just want the high rarity. A lot of the people who play at events, in case you didn't know, they don't play with budget decks. If you don't believe me, look at the YCS events. They all have like Starlights and Secret Rares. All of their decks, if you calculate them, each of their decks is probably somewhere around 1,000, and that's cheap. I've seen decks that go up to like 30,000 easily. Just, you know, in a Dark Magician deck, I used to have a Dark Magician. I posted it. It had the 2 DDS, and I also had another one where I had the first edition LOB English. Each one's like 10 to 20,000 per card. And I had them sleeved in a deck, and I had the Dark Magician MFC like that. So the deck is a lot. It's way over $50,000 per one deck, and so on and so forth. So they like the bling. So they hate a lot of the product because it doesn't appeal to them either. And then we have the last group, the regular customers, and this is gonna end the video right here. So basically, for them, they're everybody. It's me, it's you, it's everybody watching, everyone on YouTube. It's basically 100% of the people that are not on the other two lists. And people are gonna say no because there's people that don't play and have nothing to do with it. Actually, one way or another, a large majority of them still buy it because they might have to buy it for their kids. They might have to buy it for their nephews during Christmas. Because I think for like 10 years I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I still purchased it. So I would fall in the regular category. And I bought it so I can buy it for a nephew, a niece, a brother, a friend, like that. So I know all of these categories very well. So another thing is, this is the greater number of them all. None of the other two categories, collectors only, collectors and players, they don't stand a chance against the number and the percentage of the regular customer, and I'll tell you why. Collectors only is only a handful. Collectors and players, you don't need to count. You don't need to think in your mind and count them. Just drive down to your local shop or Yu-Gi-Oh events. That's them. It's a very small number. If you go to the locals, it's usually 30 people or less. And like here where I live, I think they have 3 or 4 locations, and I've attended all of them. And it's like I said, there's only 30 people or less. And you have to look at the calculator, what about the rest of the city? And that's where you get your number. Everybody else qualifies in the city, except for the 30 people. So if you're doing a calculator, and we have 3 events here, and each of them have 30, and that's highballing it. Sometimes it's lower. Sometimes there's only 20 people. But if you're gonna do 30, that's 90 total in the whole city. 90 total. And people are gonna argue, what if someone was sick or he couldn't go? You can't count those numbers. And if he was sick and he didn't go, more likely he doesn't fall under the player category, because I've seen people gone sick. I've seen people going with cancer. I've seen people go without an arm. Like, people go, they're gonna play no matter what. I seen some, I knew someone, he had lost his job. He still went to the event, he played. So they don't really care. They just want to play the game. They're addicted. And so the regular consumer is the rest of the city, all the people. So they have all the money. They are the high percentage of what makes the profit. Because on the top, you might have 30 for the collectors and maybe only 5 in the city for the collectors only. So collector and player, maybe 90, right? Because it's 30 times 3. But then on the top, because there's 3 events, 30 people each, but then the collectors maybe only 5. in the city. And then the regular consumer is the rest of the city. It can be 1 million people, 2 million, 3 million, depending on your city, how many people you have. So it's a super gigantic number. And these people, they all buy the product, all of it. The one that the top one buys, the middle, and the bottom, depending on how well they're doing in life, because they don't have time for nothing. They just have time for their life, and they'll squeeze in to buy product here and there. So that's why Konami and every company makes product, because a lot of people base it by what they feel, what they think, their opinions, what their friends said, what YouTube says, and they don't understand this basic concept. The company is none of these guys is friends or anything related. All they are is a business, and they're just making money off you. So they have to feed the 3 babies, and the 3 babies are the collectors only baby, the collectors and the player baby, and they also feed the regular consumer baby. If they don't feed them, they die. So what does it mean dying? They won't profit from them anymore. So the company is liable for keeping them alive and keeping the company alive. So they make product for the collector only, product for collectors and player, and they also make product for regular customers. So this is why I said that this current product, you want to buy it, because it qualifies under regular consumer. How do I know? Very easy to distinguish. The collectors only, almost, not all, but almost 100%, maybe 98%. They hate the product of the Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary and the Blue Eyes White Dragon reprint 25th Anniversary. If you don't believe me, don't listen to me, go watch them, you'll hear them. They all say it's garbage, don't buy it, it's trash. They've been saying it for months. Even today, I saw like 2 different YouTubers, and they're almost at 1 million subscribers. They said the same thing. It's the worst product ever, it's trash, don't buy it. They hate the product because it's not for them. And then the collectors and the players, they hate the product too, but their percentage is somewhere around the 80%. So 20%, a bigger number, likes it, but the other 80% hates it. The question is why? Because they're into the Starlight. So they had to pay $300, $400, $500, even $1,000 for a Starlight. So the question is, if they had to pay so much money, how come the regular consumer gets it for $12 to $25, and then later it's gonna be $80 and such? They can't seem to understand why the regular consumer gets it when they have to spend so much money, and that's what they don't like. They dislike and they hate it. So they're extremely angry, their feelings are hurt, their butt hurt, and they're crying. So the 2 top are crying, and then the regular consumer is happy right now because he gets to spend $20 and have all the cards that the top pyramid at the top and the middle have. And people are gonna argue and say, that's not true, it's not the same card. It's not the same card exactly, but it's the same quality. It's called Quarter Century, but it's still Starlight. So guess what? The company, what they do is they can't feed them all at the same time. Just like a bird can't feed the same baby at the same time. If you ever seen National Geographic, the mom eagle or whatever bird it is, it feeds one baby at a time, the worm. While he's feeding them, the rest of them have their eyes closed and their beaks are open and they're crying out for food because they're hungry. So the mom hears, and depending on who cries loudest or who's crying, the mom bird will feed the worm into the mouth. So that's how it works. The business is feeding the Yu-Gi-Oh cards to these babies that are crying out to the business mom. And right now the ones crying are the regular customers, so they're being fed. While they're being fed, the other ones too are crying. And then at some other time, the company will only feed the collector, so then the collector player and the regular player cry. And then at some point, only the collectors and regular, then the collector, the collector and the player will cry for that. So just a quick recap, that's the end of the video. I'm going to end it right now. Hopefully this was helpful to you, the information. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know on the bottom. For Team DMA, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And basically a quick recap at the very top, the collectors only, the ones that spend the most, collectors and the players. And these are the ones that collect, but they also attend the events, and the ban list is for them. And then you have the regular consumers, regular consumers, people that don't have time to play or nothing, they have nothing to do with it, but they still find themselves buying the product. But they are the majority, everybody else. So most of the money comes from the regular consumer, even though people don't want to believe it. It's all about the numbers. What does it matter if 30 people spend 10,000 each? If 10 million people spend $20, it's a lot more money. And then the same thing for the collectors. The collectors only, they believe it's all about them, but they have no clue. They're a very small number. The company does it to profit, but it can do without them. And that's what they don't realize, because all of these groups, they base it off of their feelings, their emotions, and what they were told, but they don't understand the principles of business. And because of that, they're in the blind. And the business is like us right now. They're just sitting in the back and looking at it. Everything I explained, they're aware of it. It's common knowledge. It's boring to them. They'll do it again next year. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any questions and concerns, or you hate this video, or you hate my in-depth analysis of it, or you would like more videos like this so that you can make extra money and be happier, and don't get the short end of the stick, comment, subscribe, let me know, and I can make more videos like this. I've been making videos like this for a lot of years, but people don't take advantage. Instead, they're just angry because they can't afford the cards, and I'm making all the money out of them because I understand the process. So with that having been said, you guys take care, God bless, Dark Magic Attack.